What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Turnbuckle Tommy Picks. I appreciate you tuning in, checking us out. Hope everyone's having a good start to their week, a good Monday. Right now, we're doing pretty good. I had 7 plays we put out that we put on the channel. 7 plays I put on the X account. Uh, we had Rangers money line. Currently, it is 5-4. Yankees are ahead. Rangers are threatening. We had Brewers first five minus the half a run. That was a winner. Braves came out and put one up real quick, but they made us sweat for a couple innings, and then Brewers came through like they always do. We had Houston and Miami over 8.5. That was one that some people were saying I was crazy for playing. These are two teams that haven't really been hitting, but when you got two pitchers with a combined ERA of 14, and I think people forget how good of a lineup Houston is when they are on point. And so the fact that they hadn't been really swinging that much, they were just bound to have a little breakout game. I also ended up adding. I didn't add because it was a last minute thing. I didn't have time to really put it out for everyone to get the same number. But I ended up taking the Astros money line when I seen it reach plus 115. That's insane. I mean, this was a Marlins team. Like, I get they're hot. They've been playing good, but this was a Marlins team that just became a 500 team yesterday when they got that win. They just became a 500 team. Astros are a much better team. I mean, neon's better than the Marlins, so I just thought plus 115 was completely mispriced. Astros ended up coming through. We have the Reds money line. That is currently, they actually just tied it up 2-2. They just tied it up. So we're hoping Reds can come back and pull off the W. We have the Cubs team total under 3.5. We got that at plus 110. Cubs currently sitting with 2 right now. So let's see if this Reds bullpen can do a good job and keep them under that total. The Cubs are 9-0 to their team total under when facing a left-handed pitcher after a win. So if everyone remembers, they got that last win in the last series against the Orioles, and today they were facing Nick Lodolo, who's just been lights out on the road. So I like following trends when they're hot, and 9-0 to the under, that works for me. I was actually on it the last 3 times it happened, so I was able to capitalize. Hopefully we can make it a 4th time today. We'll see. And then for the last 2 plays, we had the over 8.5 in Baltimore and Philly. That was a winner. And we have Guardians money line. I thought that was another one that was mispriced, and I'm kind of in my feelings about it because the Guardians had a 5-0 lead. And in the 7th, they decided to give it all up, and they have now allowed the Mets to come back and tie it up. It's the top of the 9th. Guardians were threatening. They had a runner on 3rd, but 2 outs. So we'll see if they can pull through and hang tough for us. But so right now, 3 wins on the board, but 4 games still open. So we don't have any losers that are over. So that's a good thing. We don't have any losers that are over. The games that are over, we are 3-0 right now as we speak. So let's hope we can cruise into the night and have a nice winning night. Let's talk about tomorrow. Some of the lines just came out. As you guys know, I like to jump on these things early. It's not necessarily about jumping on the line early. It's about jumping on the line when it has value, looking for that right number. But in most cases, a lot of times that early line, you can find really good value. So I actually have plays in the bet slip, some that I've already placed, and I like them. I like the plays we got. So let's get into it, man. Let's see here. First game, let's talk about the game that I think the entire public is going to be on. And hey, look, man, there's nothing wrong with that. Sometimes the public is right. Sometimes they are on the right side of things. And you have to remember, now that you have these so-called cappers and these professional bettors that sell their picks, these were people that might be considered sharps. Well, when you now have, let's say they have 10,000 subscribers or even, whatever, 5,000, 20,000 people following them, tailing their picks. Well, what do you think that means their pick becomes? Their pick becomes a public bet. It's the same thing when you have that many people tailing your bets. It is now a public bet. So anyway, the most public one I think tomorrow is going to be the Brewers and the Atlanta Braves. Brewers came through the first five tonight. We'll see if they come through full game. I didn't take them full game because there was a discrepancy in the price that I didn't like. I didn't like the fact that the Brewers were minus 140 to win the first five, and they were minus 140 to win the full game, where Atlanta was plus 115 for the first five money line and then plus 118 for the full game money line. Just didn't make sense to me, man. The line was a little suspect, so I left the full game alone. But anyway, tomorrow they got Freddie Peralta going on the mound. This is their ace, man. Freddie has been lights out electric, a 3.08 ERA. They're facing Joey Wentz. Now, Joey Wentz is not good. Let's not sugarcoat it. He's got a 5.02 ERA. The Braves are 2-2 in his starts. Brewers are 12-5 in Peralta starts. Now, remember, Brewers are the most profitable first five team in baseball. That's just what it is. And funny enough, not far behind them is the White Sox. The White Sox are actually one of the most profitable first five teams in baseball as well. We'll get into that later. Back to the Brewers game, though. Joey Wentz he's not good, man. He's a left-handed pitcher. The Brewers are number 2 in the last 30 days against left-handed pitchers. They are tearing the leather off the ball when they see a lefty. Now you're going to give them a lefty who has an ERA above 5. The Braves seem like they're starting to check out for the rest of the season. They know it's over. Brewers are doing the exact opposite. They are playing like they are pissed off, and the league owes them money, and they're coming to get that money. They're playing like they want to win a World Series. And I like the Brewers in every way possible right here. I already placed a bet. I took them on the run line. The run line is plus 110. I think that when the public gets on this, it's going to get bet up, and I don't think you will be able to. Honestly, I'll be surprised if this even closes at plus money tomorrow. I could see this run line closing at minus 105 or, even minus 110, maybe plus 100. But I think a lot of money is just going to pour in on Brewers. I don't think you're going to be able to get plus 110. So I went ahead and grabbed that. I also grabbed the first five minus the half a run. Like I said earlier, this is the most profitable first five team in MLB. You can get the first five minus the half a run for minus 110 right now. I got the first five half a run last night for today's game at plus 100, and that ended up closing, I believe, at minus 105. And it actually moved against me. Earlier today, that went up to plus 105, and I was like, man, I almost double dipped and went on it again, but I didn't want to be greedy. So, but yeah, it's minus 110. Don't think you're going to be able to get that tomorrow. I wouldn't mind a Brewers team total over. I believe you can get over 4.5 right now for like minus 102 or somewhere close to even money. I wouldn't even mind that one, man. I think that's also a good bet. So yeah, I'm on the Brewers every way, shape, form possible. On to the next one. Another bet that I like, I haven't placed it yet. It is in the slip, is the Athletics first five money line tomorrow. They go on the road and they play the Washington Nationals. Now, the Athletics are going to be starting Luis Severino, and Washington is going with Mackenzie Gore. Now, Mackenzie Gore is nasty. He's got good stuff. He's got a 3.80 ERA. The Nationals are 4-11 in his starts. He doesn't always get a lot of run support. And then he's going to be facing Luis Severino. Now, Luis Severino doesn't have the greatest record. He doesn't have the greatest record with the Braves. This is a man who has stated he doesn't want to pitch where he's at. He specifically doesn't like pitching in Sacramento. He does not like pitching in their home field. He is a much better pitcher on the road. Home games, Severino has a 6.34 ERA. Away games, he has a 3.03. They're 1-9 in his home games, and his starts 1-9 at home, 4-2 on the road. They are 3-0 in Severino's last three starts, and he's got a nice ERA at 2.65 in those last three. I believe all three of those were road games, and like I said, this is a man who prefers pitching away from Sacramento for whatever reason, but on the road, he does his thing. He pitches nasty stuff, and more importantly, Mackenzie Gore, over his last three starts, has not looked like the old Mackenzie, the Mackenzie Gore from the beginning of the season. They are 0-3 in his last 3 starts, and he has an ERA at 10.66. Now, that is a little crazy. His expected ERA at home is 3.68. I do expect a little progression. I don't think he's going to pitch like that all season, but the Athletics rank number 5 against left-handed pitchers. They are low-key smacking lefties, and I don't think people are really paying attention to it. But you got guys like Nick Kurtz on that team, and this kid's a monster at the plate. First of all, he literally looks like he's 7 foot, 300 pounds just standing at that. I mean, the bat looks like a toothpick in his hand, and he's just smacking them out of the park. I mean, you got some dangerous guys on that team. And I think this is a spot where these lefties light Gore up. Again, the A's are number 5 over the last 30 days. Severino pitches great on the road. Mackenzie Gore's recent form hasn't been that nice. I think this is a spot for the Athletics. I'm going to take them on the first 5 money line. I want to keep the bullpens out of it. I want to limit it to the first 5 because I specifically like the matchup against the left-handed pitcher. I specifically like the Athletics bats up against a lefty, even a lefty as good as Mackenzie Gore. His recent form hasn't been that great. Like I said, I expect progression, but I don't think you're going to see that much of it tomorrow. I do think these A's bats get to him. So the first 5 money line, that's at plus 115 right now. So jump on that. On to the next game. On to the next pick. Now, look, man, I might be a pain freak, but I'm going back to the Guardians. And the reason I'm going back to the Guardians is I'm specifically narrowing it to the Guardians' first 5 money line. Now, the Guardians are starting Logan Allen. He's going on the bump. He hasn't – I get Logan Allen has not been that great. 4.06 ERA, 4.34 over his last 3. He pitches about the same. His home and road splits are pretty much identical. 4.06 at home, 4.06 on the road games. They are, however, 3-2 on his road starts. So he seems to pitch with a little more comfort on the road. The Mets are going to be starting Clay Holmes. Now, Clay Holmes has been great this year. 3.45 ERA. They're 9-6 in his starts. Over his last 3 starts, they're 1-2 with a 4.50 ERA. He has given up a little bit more as of recent, but so my main purpose for this pick is, first of all, it's the Guardians' first 5 money line, and it's priced at plus 140. Now, I get that the Mets are one of the best home teams in MLB. I understand that. But a lot of times, if you go back and look at these Mets home games, a lot of these wins, tonight is a perfect example. A lot of these wins are come from behind wins. These are wins that take place after the 5th inning. The Mets team does a pretty good job at starting slow and losing those first 5. And more so than that, even more the reason for this pick is the fact that the Guardians are starting Logan Allen. He is a left-handed pitcher. Like I said, he's not great, but he is not atrocious either. He's been serviceable, 4.06 ERA. Mets rank bottom 5 against lefties over the last 30 days. They can't hit a lefty to save their lives. And I think Logan Allen can come out here. I think he can give us enough through the first 5 to hold the Mets, keep their bats at bay. I could see it being low scoring through that first 5. I don't think the Guardians are going to go in there and tear Clay Holmes up. I just think they can get 1 or 2 off of them. And I think Logan Allen can limit those Mets bats to just 1, maybe go into the 6-2-1 Guardians, 3-1 guards, something like that. But at plus 140 with the matchup, with the fact that how bad the Mets bats have been against left-handed pitchers, I just think that's mispriced at plus 140. So I want to go ahead and jump on that. So that's Guardians' first 5 money line. Next pick we have the New York Yankees at Texas Rangers, and I'm going with the Rangers first 5 minus the half a run on this one. Actually already placed the bet. The reason I'm going with this pick, you got Will Warren taking the bump for the Yankees. Hasn't been that great. He's been better at home. He's got a 4.64 ERA. On the road, At home, 2.88. They're 5-3 in his home starts. On the road, they are 1-2. He has an ERA of 7.20. And plain and simple, I don't even really have to go into this much. Rangers are starting Nathan Eovaldi, and I'm just a huge Nathan Eovaldi fan. This dude has a ERA 1.86 on at home, 1.26 on the road, 0.92 over his last 3 starts. I mean, the dude is nasty. His whip is under 1. You can't say enough good things about Nathan Eovaldi. I will back him every time, first 5 minus the half a run, regardless who he is facing. I don't care who it is. I don't care who they are starting pitching, who the opposing pitcher is. I will always back this, and I promise you this is a bet that will win more than it will lose. And that's the goal. The goal is to be profitable, to have a good ROI. At that value right now, you can get the minus the half a run at minus 102. For this pitching matchup, I do think that is a good number. I think a lot of money will come in when people, see that it's Eovaldi and Warren on the road. I do think Rangers' first 5 will take a lot of money, and I think that 102 might be gone. So I would jump on that. Again, I'm not even going to do a lot of explaining. It's Nathan Eovaldi at home against Will Warren on the road. Don't overthink it. It's a Rangers' first 5 spot. Jump on it all day. The last official play that I have is I'm going with the D-backs first 5 money line tomorrow. You got Darvish taking the mound for the Padres. Darvish has not been good, man. The dude's trash. He had an okay outing in his last one, but the dude is straight trash. 6.46 ERA over his last 3. Home games, 3.52. He's been okay at home. On the road, they are 0-2 in his starts, and he has an 11.88 ERA. The dude gets the jitters on the road or something. I don't know, but he's not good. And sitting across from him is going to be Ryan Nelson on the bump for the D-backs, man. And this is a pitcher that I like. I think Ryan Nelson is good. I think he is only getting better. They're 6-3 in his starts. He's got a 3.20 ERA, 1.04 ERA over his last 2 starts, and he pitches great at home. Home ERA at 2.09. I like this kid. He's got good stuff. The Padres, I feel, play better on the at home than they do on the road. They have stepped it up, and they definitely built up their team even more since the trade deadline. So I do expect good things out of the Padres in this second half. And I honestly, I do think the Padres win the game. Their bullpen has gotten nasty since that trade. They traded for some good pieces and built up a solid bullpen. So I want to, and we all know Arizona's bullpen has been horrible all season long. Yes, they've had their little spots where they've gotten better and you've seen improvements, but as a whole, overall, the Arizona bullpen has not been good. So I wouldn't be surprised in the least for Padres to take this full game. But I do want to limit it to the first 5. I want to limit it to Ryan Nelson against Darvish, and I think at plus 100 for D-backs first 5 money line, you could wait. Padres may take a little money. People might not pay attention to the pitching matchup. Maybe the public brings some money in on the Padres, and you can get plus 105 or something like that. But I'll take plus money for the D-backs first 5 with that pitching matchup all day. So I like that. Now, I do have 3 other bets. Now, I wasn't going to make these official. I am looking at them. I have them in my sight. One of them was the Giants and Pirates game. You got Logan Webb taking the mound for the Giants, and you got Mike Burrows taking the mound for the Pirates. Both these pitchers have been really good. I mean, Logan Webb's, he's had a couple games where it was like, okay, but as a whole, they've both been serviceable. Again, Logan Webb, his last 3 starts at ERA above 6. That's not typically like him. He does pitch much better. At home, ERA at 2.78 or 5-2 in his starts, and even on the road, he's got an ERA of 3.90. I think he's just had his last few games have been a little shaky. But Burrows, here's a guy, 1.59 ERA. The dude just plays for the Pirates. What do you expect? He doesn't get run support. At home, he's got an ERA of 3.38. He's been pitching really good. I wanted to take the under, but the under's at 7.5, and it's juiced to -120. I was really hoping to get an 8.5. I knew that might be a little reach, but at the very least, a flat 8. But I really wanted the under 8.5. I would have took that at -120. I wasn't expecting a 7.5 at -120. So I don't know. I feel like the books might have swinged it a little too low, and at 7.5, there's a small chance I might want to jump on the over. I'm going to sit back, watch what the line does, watch what the market does with that, and we'll see. But that was one that I had my eye on. And another one that I had my eye on, and I'm actually very glad that the Royals lost tonight, is tomorrow. I like Kansas City money line. I'm going to go ahead and say it. I'm going to jump out there head first. I like the Kansas City money line. I believe right now you can get them. Give me 1 second. Right now, you can get the Royals money line. When I seen it last, right when it got released, I believe it was plus 140, could be a little more. Oh, and the Guardians take the lead. Guardians up 7-5. You love to see it. And the Royals are actually making a comeback. They're only down. It was 8-1. Now it is 8-5. Reds took the lead. They're up 3-2. So these other tickets are looking good. We need the Rangers to try to come through for us. Blue Jays have a commanding lead. Anyway, you can get the Royals at, plus 190. Yeah, give me that all day. That is insane. Now, look, hear me out. Garrett Crochet is on the mound, and that's why it's plus 190. Everybody and their brother is going to jump all over Boston at home. They've been on a tear, and they are. Listen, you don't have much of a case for the Royals other than the fact that they're going to be starting Ryan Berger. Now, this is someone they got in the trade with the Padres. Berger he's been great. He's got an ERA at 2.78. He's been a good pitcher, man. 4.63 over his last couple starts, but away games he pitches a 1.96 ERA. So he's at a new team on the road, so this is kind of a double away game. So I think he comes out in his debut for these guys. I do think he pitches a gem. I think he pitches solid. My biggest reasoning for making this play, and maybe you don't want to take the Royals money line. Maybe you want to take the Royals team total over. My thing is Crochet's on the mound. The entire world's going to be on Boston, and no one's going to expect runs from this Royals lineup. But here's the thing. This Royals lineup on the road is a different lineup. Everyone knows that. They were just down 8-1, and now it's 8-5. I mean, they were literally just down 8-1 in the seventh inning, and now it is 8-5. This is a different lineup on the road. They hit. More importantly, this is the number one team against lefties in the last 30 days. They are hitting every lefty they see. Now, a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago, the White Sox were the number one team against lefties. They had that number one slot. And what were they doing? They were smashing every left-hander. It didn't matter who. Christopher Sanchez, a dude that just pitched an 8-inning no-run game yesterday. They smacked him up for 4. This is a dude that's been untouchable. They smacked him up for 4. They're tearing the leather off the ball with every lefty they see. And the Royals have been doing the same thing. Whenever you see a team that sits at number one with OPS against lefties, they're usually hitting every lefty they see. It doesn't matter who it is. They're hitting every single one. I think the Royals touch up Crochet tomorrow. Will it be enough to get them the win for the full game? I don't know. Again, like I said, if you feel more comfortable, take their team total over. I'm sure. Matter of fact, I could tell you what it is right now, probably. They got the game total at 8. So you can get the Royals team total over 3.5 right now at plus 118. That's probably going to go on the bet slip for sure. Now, the reason I was looking at money line is because of the fact it's plus 190. To me, that's insane. For the team that's number one against left-handed pitchers over the last 30 days, I think plus 190 is batshit crazy, and it's worth taking a stab at. Look, their run line is plus 1.5, and that's minus 105. So that's the books telling you at minus 105. That's the books telling you that even they think Boston, they expect this to possibly be a tight game. And if Boston does win, they think it's one, maybe 2 runs. So I think that the Royals get to this. I think they get to Crochet, man. And last but not least, the last one I was looking at, my Chicago White Sox. They're facing Brian Wu tomorrow. This is a White Sox team who has been just amazing on the road. Now, I am looking at their first 5 money line. Like I said earlier, Brewers, best first 5 team in baseball. White Sox are right behind them. They are literally on their tails nipping. White Sox have been very profitable in the first 5 all year long. It's crazy. They would blow games, but a lot of people just see their record and they're like, oh, they suck. But you go back, watch their games, and White Sox, and more often than not, in about 70% of the games they play, they're leading in the 6th inning, and they end up blowing that lead. We saw it last night with the Angels. We saw them blow the lead. Had a 5-run lead. They let them come back, tied up 5-5, ended up losing 8-5. And that was at the very end. I mean, that was, I believe, 6th, 7th, 8th innings is all that when all that took place. So they're facing Brian Wu. Everyone's going to see Brian Wu, jump on him. Right now, you can get the White Sox first 5 money line at plus 175. Again, guys, we look for value spots, and this is another spot that just has value at plus 175. Like, are you kidding me right now? Against a team who, look, man, people don't even recognize this White Sox team in the second half of the season. This is a team who has been one of the best road teams over the last 30 days. They've been one of the best teams against left and right-handed pitchers over the last 30 days, and they have been one of the most profitable first 5 teams on the entire season. You're going to give me plus 175? Okay, sure, I'll take it. I think that's crazy. So, like I said, man, we look for line value. The sports betting, being profitable long term, it's about line value. It's not about picking winners. You could have a ticket that wins. It doesn't mean it was a good bet. I promise you, it does not mean it was a good bet. So again, you guys hit the like and subscribe button. I appreciate everyone watching. I don't care if it's 1. I don't care if it's 100. We love making money. We love helping people make money. Meet me at the window. You already know what we do. The plays will be posted on Twitter. Check out my X account. Man, I hope everyone has a terrific Monday night. Let's carry this momentum into Tuesday. Let's smoke them.